Hello everyone, this is Professor Patterns here, and in this video I'm going to show you how you can learn the Linux operating system. So let's go ahead and get started. Now there are a couple of ways in which we can do this. My preferred way is to use Microsoft Azure to create a virtual machine that runs Linux. Now, if you haven't watched my earlier video on cloud computing, I'm going to share the link here so you can definitely take a look at that one and then come back to this one. Now, right now I'm on my Azure Cloud Console page. Now here I'm going to select a virtual machine and I'm going to create a very simple one. Let me create a resource group and let's call this one something like Linux Learning. And again, I'm going to call this virtual machine name Linux VM. Just have to make sure that this has a hyphen. Let me zoom into this page. And then region can be the same, whatever default option is. Keep everything else the same. Keep the security type as standard. Don't need to change anything there. Let's use the Ubuntu one. Let's see if this works. And if it doesn't, we can try a different type. I think for now, this size should be okay. And authentication type, let's just keep it password. Username and password is always fine. Okay, and now that's done. I'm just going to simply hit review and create. Now, this will take me a second or two to actually get started. I'm just going to simply hit create here. You can see that the pricing is about 0.01 USD per hour. I think that's fine. I'm going to leave everything else as the default value. Haven't really changed anything else. And let's go ahead and create this. Now that the resource has been created, I'm going to simply go to the resource. And then here, I'm going to select the connect option. And sure, let's select this one. Seems to be pretty easy. It says that we need to configure some prerequisites. So let's scroll down. I'm just going to say, I understand. I'm going to move my window here and configure and connect. And let's see if that works out for us. You can see that it's starting up now. I'm going to maximize that page. And there we go. Now, there are a couple of things. Unlike your Windows or your Mac computer, where you have a very nice and pretty looking interface where you have all of your folders nice and neatly organized. In the Linux environment, you don't really have a lot of that. So the way that you can access all of the files that you in the folder that you're in currently is by typing the command ls. So when you type that, it shows you all of the current files that are there in your current repository. So it's kind of like me going to a specific folder on my computer. Now imagine that I wanted to create a new folder. The way that I would do so is by typing in make directory. So that's mkdir. I'm going to hit space and I'm going to give it a name. So let's just say I'm going to call this folder name test. Now if I type in ls again, you can see that this folder has been created. So how do we enter a folder? Well, to enter a folder, you would type in cd space and then the name of that folder, which is test. When you enter, now I'm currently in the folder and I can see that the current location is in the folder. To see all of the current, or to see the exact location of where we're at, I can type in present working directory, which is pwd. And that's home, my name, and then the test directory. So if I want to clear everything that I have right now, because there's a lot of stuff here, I can simply hit clear. When I enter, everything clears out. So now if I type in ls again, that'll show me what are all of the files currently in my directory. Now, if I wanted to, for example, go back to my home directory, there are two ways I could do this. If I just type in cd and don't put anything after that, that's going to directly take me to the home directory. And I can see that I went from test to home. I know it can be a little bit confusing sometimes, but once you start really using it, you'll get a hang of it. Let's ls again to see what are all of the folders here. Let's cd into the test directory. If I want to go just one level up, I could do cd space period. And again, that's going to take me to the home directory. I can hit ls. I can see the test, all of my folders here. Let's cd again into test. And over here, if I ls, obviously there's nothing in here. So let's make another directory called test_2. Let's cd into test_2. And what's going to happen if I now run cd period? Well, it's going to take me to the test directory. If I'm in cd test2 and I type in cd, this should just take me to the home directory. And there we are. So let's go to my test directory. And suppose that here I want to create a Python script. Now, there are a couple of ways in which I could do this. I could use something known as Nano. Now, it might not be installed, so let's see if it actually is. So let's say Nano and then the name of the file. And let's call this file test.py. And there we go. It opened up a new file. Now, here I can say something like print and hello world. To save this file, the keyboard shortcut is going to be Control O. And then I'm going to hit Control X. And that's going to exit out of that window. So now that that's done, I can ls again to see that this file has been created. And if I wanted to execute this file, I can run python test.py. And there we go. It runs a Python script that says hello world. So this is how we like to organize things within the whole Linux sort of programming environment. There are a lot of different commands that we can learn, but these are some of the easiest ones that we like to teach, especially to people when they're first getting started. So what I would recommend is get yourself a Ubuntu server, just like this, and just start practicing some of this operation. So create a Python script, create it in a folder, try to run some simple commands, try to cd, try to run ls, see if you can find some commands that you like to use, some commands that you find really interesting. And if you find something that or a new command or something, then feel free to post a comment about it in the comment section below. It would help me out. Maybe I might learn something new. It might help other people out as well. Something else to note is that you don't really want to have your virtual machine running when you're not using it. So if you ever want to delete that virtual machine, all you would do is go to your resource group, click on the resource group that you had created, and then simply delete that. That way, it's going to delete all of the current resources. If you wanted to, you could also pause the virtual machine, so it's also not incurring any cost. Whatever option you prefer, that's fine. Just make sure that you don't have it running when you're not using it. Otherwise, it's going to start incurring additional costs, and we don't want that. And that's pretty much it for this video. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hopefully, it gave you an understanding about the Linux operating system at a high level, and also some of the commands that we can use in Linux, like cd, ls, all of those kind of things. Thanks for tuning in. If you're new to the channel, please leave a like. If you haven't subscribed already, then please subscribe. It really helps the channel out. If you want me to cover any future videos about similar topics, then please leave a comment in the comment section below. And I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.